Former Gold Coast and Gold Coast Chargers represented on the table again today, proudly so, the Gold Coast Chargers mug. But Benny Ikin was never a Charger. He was a Gold Coast Seagull, then North Sydney Bear, Brisbane Bronco, Queensland Origin, Australian representative. Ben on FaceTime, good afternoon. What a wonderful styling job you've done with your house.
Yeah, thank you. Very different from Paul Kent's house I've seen on Twitter recently, doing those crosses in front of the bookshelf. No, I'm sort of, my house matches my personality, to be honest with you. Very narrow. Yeah.
Or bland.
I was going to say bright.
Bland, sterile.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, Ben, just on that topic we're discussing here, training in isolation, you came through, I called you as a schoolboy. Benny, we like to tell the tale. 1994, playing for Palm Beach, Currumbin. There's this pimply-faced kid with a headgear, scores 2 tries, first TV game up at Carrara.
Dominated.
Dominated. Absolutely. Kids having nightmares from the other side. In 95, what training would you have done outside of training with the team?
Actually, so this is very interesting. So my first year at the Gold Coast Seagulls, we only used to train together as a squad on a Wednesday afternoon and a Saturday morning with this lunatic by the name of Tony Green. So my first pre-season, I signed on with the Seagulls with a few other blokes I went to Palm Beach Currumbin High School with. So we're all in the squad together. So you remember these names, Block, you especially, Tugger Coleman, Peter Gill, and the great David Woods, who would have done many a battle in the front row against Blocker at the peak of his powers. So they were all playing in the first grade side for the Gold Coast Seagulls. So they took me and 2 of my mates, and on the Tuesday and the Thursday, in between those 2 team sessions with the Seagulls, they'd take us and flog us. We'd go down to the Currumbin stairs, do the runs. We'd do sprint training as the season got closer. And Blocker, you'll appreciate this. Dave Woods was as mad as a cut snake, right? He was a bit of a lunatic.
That's why they signed him.
That's right. He's since passed. But at the end of the 4 months, David Woods decided me and my 2 mates had put in that big an effort across the off-season, he was going to reward us. So he took us up the Surfers Paradise to the opening of a new venue that his mate had purchased. It was called Santa Fe Gold. And I was still only 17. He got me in, and for the next 6 hours just proceeded to give me that fake money. That was our reward for training in isolation that year in the lead up to the 95 season of the Seagulls.
That's very good.
Wasn't expecting that to go. And if I'm right in saying, did Dave Woods not have the nickname suitcases because he had the muscles? He always walk around like this. He's holding bags. That was right?
Yeah. He used to have a business card. I think he had business cards that he handed out as a rugby league player. He was a terrific guy, great energy about him. Obviously battled late in his life with other things, but that off-season was so much fun. And I'm scratching my head thinking now why the Seagulls didn't go all that good in 95.
Hey, Benny, talking about nightclubs, was Melba's going when you were up there? And if it was, I'd been going to Melba's, I reckon, for 15 years before when I was playing and all that sort of stuff and after. I think I never bought a drink there. Was that the same for you guys?
Yeah, it was Gold Coast Seagulls Central. So if you wore your Gold Coast Seagulls polo, remember back in the day with the polos with the good things, because then you'd be so you'd be ushered straight to the front of the line. That's right. They'd put you behind the red rope, give you the drink cards, and then the night was yours to own.
Well, what a start of the program. Have we come out of the blocks well here? We're talking about nightclubs, strip joints. We've had a mad...
With the most boring bloke in rugby league.
Reverend Kenneth Copeland, basically cure us of the virus. I mean, it's just incredible start. And again, the Fox League bosses, thank you for giving us a second crack on air. I'm pretty sure this will be the last. Benny, I know you're in a pretty serious lockdown situation there in Queensland, or as much as. Are you getting out at all? Are people still talking rugby league to you, or has everyone just accepted their plight now and it is what it is? And, that's it. We can't speculate anymore. This is how it's going to be for however long it is going to be.
Yeah, so I got home Wednesday. So last night at 3:60 on Tuesday night, they wanted us all home with our families, Fox League, which is fantastic. So I got north of the border before it closed. And I think since I've been home on Wednesday, I have never spoken so much to my mates, to acquaintances about rugby league. Like everybody is missing it and needs their fix. So I was sitting at home last night on the couch So we normally have a text exchange going between about 7 of us, right? Through Thursday night footy, Friday, Super Saturday, you name it. And the text came through last night with we call it in honour of you, Vossi, we call it the roast group. So our roast group put out a text, one member, I'm sitting at home, what are we going to talk about? And that's kind of summed up, I think, the week for most people who no longer have sport in their life. So here, I'm restricted to kind of go down and get a cup of coffee, bring it home. I'm lucky my wife has had rugby league in her life, her entire life. So we read the papers, talk through the issues, talk about what might have been. My kids are the same. But I reckon there'd be people needing a fix all the way around the country. Doesn't matter what sport it is. It's not here at the moment. And we're all missing it.
Okay, well, give us a fix. One of the great stories from Ben Ikin's career is the Origin debut in 95. Now, a lot of our viewers right now probably have heard it, but when you got called up to play for Fatty's Neville's, it is still one of the great sporting achievements, not just rugby league achievements. Fatty's band of Neville's, in the greatest of respect, won the Origin Series 3-0, and you were right up the top of the list when it came to Neville's, Ben, if you don't mind me saying, in that
No, you're spot on there.
Yeah,
You're spot on there.
So that first meeting with Fatty.
So after I dominated that schoolboys game that you called in 94.
With headgear on, Benny? I can't imagine you with headgear on.
No, headgear. I was very protective. I didn't
Was
like
it on
the
the right
contact
way
side of the
round,
game.
Benny?
It just blocked, but I didn't like the contact side of the game, which became evident later in my career. But I pushed my way through that pre-season with Dave Woods and Tugger Coleman and Peter Gill, and had played 3 first-grade games. And I got a bit of a tip that I was going to be selected in the Queensland under-19 side, which I got terribly excited about, right? And so I sat down. Super League War had broken out. There'd been this debate about whether or not the QRL and the New South Wales Rugby League were going to pick Super League aligned players. And, of course, for Queensland, if they didn't, that was a disaster. No Broncos, no Elf, no Kevy, no Wendell. Who were we going to choose? So I sat down to watch the naming of the side, and which was on free-to-air back then. That's how much we love it up here. They got through the team. You know, Robbie O'Davis was the fullback. I'm like, who's that? Adrian Lamb was the halfback. Barely knew him. Rowdy Shearer was named at 5'8". He was a great player back in the 60s. They got to the bench, and they read out Ben Ikin from the Gold Coast Seagulls, number 14. And when my phone rang about half a second after my name was read out, I assumed it was for me. It was. I picked it up. It was my old man. And this is no word of a lie. The first thing he said to me was, is there another Ben Ikin on the Gold Coast?
Don't say that.
No, absolutely, right? I said, and I'm like shocked. I said, no, Dad, I think it's me. I think I'm in, right? And then the phone went dead. And then about 5 seconds later, it rang back, and it was my mum. And she said, what's wrong? Your father's crying. I said, no, I've been picked in the Queensland State of Origin team. She said to me, oh, your father thinks he's made it. Anyway, so I get in the car and drive up to the Travelodge in Roma Street the next day, and had no idea what to expect. Got to the concierge, and I said, listen, mate, I've been selected in the Queensland State of Origin team. I don't know where to be. He said, look, mate, you're all meeting up on the 6th floor. I'll take you around the lift. Just leave your bags here. So I get around the lift. He puts me in, hits level 6. Just as the doors are closing, in comes this hand with a tuft of red fur on the back of it. The doors open back up, and there's the fat man.
The fat.
And he's chatting with another debutante that year, Maddie Singh, you know, who Fletch knows well. Anyway, they're talking about the series. Maddie Singh's on debut as well, right, mind you. Anyway, they both look at me, stare at me blankly, and then just turn their backs on me, and we all ride the lift together up to the 6th floor. Maddie gets out. Fatty follows, and of course I'm in the team, so I sort of trail in behind. And Fatty must have got a sense I was sort of up his backside, and he turns around, looks me up and down, says, "Mate, I'm sorry, this floor's for State of Origin players only. If you want some autographs, you'll have to wait downstairs in the foyer." I now claim that I said, "Piss off, mate. Go and get the coach. He'll tell you who I am," which is a lie.
Hey, Benny,
Mate, it was just unbelievable.
And at what point did it click? And Fatty had to backtrack and say, oh.
No, I literally had to say, no, mate, my name's Ben Ikin. I'm in your team. And, you know, well, come in, mate. We've got a series to win.
It's still one of the great rugby league stories from a great story. I mean, one day There has to be a movie. I don't know who makes it, but there has to be a movie about the 95 Fatty.
25 years
Craig
this year, Bossy.
Teven, Terry Cook, blokes like that lived a dream in one series. Just incredible. Ben, great to have you on the program, and stay safe, my friend.
Thanks, lads.
See you, mate.
Benny Eichen right here, FaceTime, getting a workover on Fox League